Do hello there, welcome back to Her Lie I Try to Believe. These guys have to be in like their at minimum mid-20s, I'm guessing. Which is not, it's bad. I tried to speak, but I guess I'm not totally prepared for it yet. I take a deep breath and try another time. Get out. There's no use anymore. All I'd ever wanted was for her to feel as hopeless as I did. But now that I've seen, now that I've understood that her hopelessness is even greater than my own, there's no point in doing any of this anymore. There is nothing left for me to take away from her. There's never was anything for me to take away from her. In the first place. How fucking pathetic! I don't wanna, she said with divergence. Her voice, and even though I didn't have the courage to face her anymore, I still knew what kind of expression she was wearing. Get out, you fucking bitch! No, okay. I have a feeling that if I guess that she's gonna come back, and he's gonna do the same thing, or plan B, they kind of get to know each other and then they get married and all that kind of shit. And that she leans over her shoulder, arms around me from behind. Her embrace was awkward, the kind of hug only teenage boys would give uncomfortably to their first girlfriend. Yet, in that hold, I felt the strength with which she tackled every problem she had ever faced. I felt that determination which she demanded anyone foolish enough to get between her and her goals. How irritating. I turned around violently, taking her perfect face roughly, and my left hand involved strength into my hand, and pushing her against the wall next to us. All while making sure she feels pain with every motion I made. Don't you understand? If I stay here, I'll break you. Oh, I really want this to be a heartwarming moment too. My face was extremely close to hers, and I could literally eaten her all up right then and there. But she didn't flinch. She didn't look away from my fully deleted palpus. I don't freaking know. She didn't show any sign of pain, even though she was definitely feeling some, I'm sure. She was now showing her true self for the first time in all these years. And at that very moment, that's exactly what I want to do. Oh, I have a bad feeling about this. I also want this to be heartwarming too. It's in that weird middle ground. Damn it! I was the one who was frightened. I got the word right. Do I get a cookie? Chapter 4. The expression I didn't need. Yay, I can somewhat read cursive. It's just, that's absolute shit. I didn't remember much about that night, or maybe I just didn't want to remember. The only thing I can say for sure is that there was something I found out about myself that day. Something I probably shouldn't have found out. I have a bad feeling, but I also want it to be heartwarming, damn it. As I was about to leave the hotel, it must have been around 5 the next morning. Cassandra stopped me casually and said, I want you to come back next week, alright? My reply, that was, not a chance, idiot. Nevertheless, she was flattered. She flashed me with a bright, truthful smile. I wonder if she knew. I already had one. After that night, I met her in the same day once a week. We drank together in the bar where she was working, and then we'd always finish the night at the same hotel. It must have been around the 3rd week that I finally decided to ask her about it. As always, she was speaking to me in that great length just after having had sex. I was sitting up in the corner of the bed, half-heartedly listening to the superiorly while sucking on the yeah, I was a cigarette. I was a smoker. By then, got the habit out of nowhere, probably to look even more pathetic than I already was. We should go see it together. They say it's the movie of the decade. Okay, to be honest, she's wearing glasses. No, I think she is wearing glasses. Oh, man. Shut up. I said brashly as a reply yet. I wonder if you'd pay for my ticket. I bet you would. You're the kind of man after all. Oh! Those are the girls that you know are fun. Well, they'll kind of sit there and kind of poke a little bit of fun at you. Also, I know there's other girls that could be freaking fun as hell to torment. She was laughing and smiling like always. At first, I had thought that she would stop acting so childish after she had finally shown me her true self. But she betrayed my expectations. She was exactly the same, whether we were alone or not. Well, at least she has nothing to hide emotionally, so That's how you know she's a keeper. The only time she behaves any different was when we're having sex. She would fix me in the eyes with the frightenment position of hers. Normally, you would think I was the only one who was cold and violent in this relationship or ours, but when we were having sex, she could very well seen as disturbing as I was. Well, the two of them have known each other since freaking childhood, so there has to be some sort of connection. I wondered then why she was always smiling when it was fake, or was it in the same way genuine? Even I was probably understanding her better than anyone else. Had no idea. Well, people still don't think they don't understand me. Suckers. How could someone as empty as her smile as truthfully like this? I wanted to know so badly, but why? Why did every acute associate with the likes of her? It's not as if my feelings had changed all that much since the first time I laid my eyes on her. I still very much hated the thing of embodied, and yet I kept coming back. You like it, don't you? I didn't understand myself anymore. Perhaps I didn't want to understand, but I needed to know more about anything than anything. So, without thinking too much about it, I asked her something out of interest for the first time since almost forever. I asked her something about I wish I hadn't. How did you end up like this way? She was surprised, obviously. I had cut her off while she was in the middle of talking but her surprise didn't come from the fact. She looked at me and smiled silently for the first time, but not was a smile that was a smile, as if she had won something. A smile as if she was hoping somewhere, somehow. I think she was just generally happy. Or maybe there was something in that smile that I didn't understand back then. I'm going with you didn't understand it. All I knew was that she had been waiting for that question. She took my hand. She took her tail some bullshit I didn't want her to hear. Her father had a lot of money when she was younger. He had some kind of successful businessman or investor or whatever. I didn't listen to that well, to be honest, but he had enough money to get by. That was terms she used whatever that meant. That could be taken in a few separate ways. The fifth grade of nowhere, Cassandra started to showing up in a lot of interest in her students, in her studies. So much so that she was the top of her class every year that followed. Because he noticed her growing up to become such an outstanding woman, her father decided to invest in her by paying for her later education some a kind of prestigious university or something that I didn't even know you could pay for such a thing so early in the game. Anyway, now that the plot twist of her father pretty much lost everything by turning invest in some real bullshit went wrong. Wrong place. That's what they always said. Anyways, so sure enough, now that he was as poor as shit, he started thinking about the investment he had made in his daughter. And that's where I'm going to end the episode here. I'm going to hopefully have enough hope that you guys don't set shit on fire. And I'd love to see you guys next time. And I hope all of you have a great and wonderful day. I'll see you guys next time.